Welcome back. This is Lew White. A lot of Christians and people that haven't really studied Scripture leave messages and comments on my videos, and they're very important to me. I can't answer every one, but just yesterday I received this question from someone, and I know him. He was somebody that we interact quite a bit. He says, Lew, could you explain Kepha's vision in Acts 10? It seems to imply that unclean foods have been cleansed by Elohim, which does not make sense. Yeah, it's very true. And I left this quick answer. Scripture tells us what food is and what food is not. And there's a link here to fossilizedcustoms.com/food.html. People don't hear, but Yeshayahu, Isaiah, chapter 66, reveals that those found eating the flesh of pigs, bats, and rats will be burned up on the day Yahuwah comes to punish. Yahusha is Yahuwah, the disobedient inhabitants of the earth. Also, look at Yeshayahu or Isaiah, chapter 24. He tells us the reason that he's going to burn the earth, because they've broken the everlasting covenant and changed the instructions. And that's what has happened. And then I leave another comment to that comment. Kepha, the man they call Peter, who had the vision in Acts 10, he explained the vision of the 3 sheets of unclean animals in Acts chapter 11, the very next chapter. The 3 sheets represented the 3 Gentiles sent to ask him to come with them to speak to the household of Cornelius, who was someone who was a righteous Gentile who gave support, alms to the poor. And this was getting the attention of Yahusha. The spirit of Yahusha had never left. He was in these men, and he was drawing Cornelius, and they got immersed that same day. But Peter, or Kepha, would never have gone with the Gentiles unless he had received that vision. And he himself explained the vision in chapter 11. It's very clear there. Now, why is it that we are all confused? Well, there's confusion on many, many things because people read their scriptures, translations, that they rely on as being proof positive of everything that they want to believe. But what they don't realize is the translations are in themselves the viewpoints and the footnotes and even in insertions where they've put things in parentheses that were not in the scriptures originally, but they were placed in the margins in some monk town somewhere, some person that didn't get out much. And they translated things, and they had to take vows of silence so that they couldn't communicate with each other what they were reading and translating. There was a lot of busybody stuff going on with the scriptures. And they inherited this text that was written in a column or a margin somewhere. And then later centuries, they brought it into the text. I think it's in Mark 7. It says, he thus declared all foods clean. And this is not in the text, but it was brought into the text. So the King James Version put that in parentheses to let you know it wasn't originally there, but it was implied to teach you this. And this is very wrong to do this. As Gentiles joined the body of the Natsarim, even they influenced the Natsarim. And multiple Christianities were spawned They grew up like weeds under various teachers, just as Paul predicted in Acts 20. Now, what is it what does weeds mean? Well, weeds are false teachings that take root and dominate the situation. Misunderstandings created beliefs that were incorrect and became the traditions. Weeds are living among the wheat even now. 2 Timothy 4, verse 2 through 4 says this: proclaim the word. That would be the inspired words of the prophets. Be urgent in season, out of season, correct, warn, appeal with all patience and teaching, for there shall be a time when they shall not bear sound teaching, but according to their own desires they shall heap up for themselves teachers tickling the ear, and they shall indeed turn their ears away from the truth and be turned aside to myths. Now that's interesting. Scripture tells us what food is, but Yashayahu 66 was, I mentioned that earlier in this video. Chapter 66, they call him Isaiah. Verses 15 through 18, 3 verses. For look, Yahuwah comes with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his displeasure with burning, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword Yahuwah shall judge all flesh, and the slain of Yahuwah shall be many. Those who set themselves apart, they set themselves apart, and cleanse themselves in the gardens, the farms, following after one in the midst, who eat the flesh of pigs, and the abomination and the mouse are snatched away together, says Yahuwah. And I, because of their works and their imagination, am going to gather all nations and tongues. Well, that should pretty much tell you that eating unclean animals is going to pay a heavy penalty. You're not to do that. It corrupts you. It's a commandment. You're not allowed to drink blood. You're not allowed to eat unclean animals. And he tells us what unclean animals are in Uikra or Leviticus chapter 11, and in other places also. Thanks for watching, and ask a question if you have trouble, and I'll use scripture to try to explain if I know it, and I'll try to help you get through this. There's a lot of new people that are trying to understand because they've been lied to for literally centuries. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next exciting video.